This is Rob Carbone, and you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. What is going on, guys? This is Rob Carbone, and we're going to be doing episode 82 today. I got my cousin, one of my best buddies, Mike Fascini, with me today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to hit on the XFL. We're going to talk on the NBA, the NFL, maybe a little bit, and then talk about the Yankees and the Astros and all that bullshit. And then we're going to talk about a lot of other things. So what's going on, Mike? Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
But yeah, I guess I don't know. You want to start with the XFL? You said.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I like it. I like the idea. As somebody who doesn't watch a whole lot of football a ton, it's harder for me to just go straight into it because I don't know many players to begin with anymore. So when you go from the NFL to a league that doesn't have as much talent, for somebody who doesn't know many players to begin with, it's kind of hard for me to stay attracted to it, but I do like it. I do think it's a good idea. One of the first things I've noticed since watching this was the pace of the game. I thought it was much quicker, and so I just want to hear your thoughts on the pace and everything.
Listen, the way I think that first off, starting with the commissioner Oliver Luck, he is someone I followed for a while. I mean, he was the athletic director of West Virginia when I went there. He was he eventually became the Big 12 commissioner, and then from there moved on to start the XFL. And I think first off, there couldn't be a better person running it. So I think with the way he's going to bring it, it's going to be more than just this year, And I think that's the biggest thing is for people to see, watch it, see what we got. But I think that how much they improve to next year is going to be the biggest thing, because these leagues aren't going to be just amazing off the rip, It's just not going to be that way. But I think the changes that they made were necessary. The pace of play is something that you're going to have to do because, we're used to having this dead spot of winter where there's no sports going on and everybody's just sitting around waiting for baseball to fully start up, or, what I mean, wait for the combine, for the NFL, the draft, But this gives you something to watch, and you're obviously going to want it to move a little quicker, You're going to want to see immediate gratification. But, the biggest thing, we talked about briefly before, is the platform it gives the players, because with the whole transfer portal and the NCAA and all this stuff going on with the players being paid and all of that, it allows players another option. And like we said, there's a guy, Kenny Robinson. He played at West Virginia his true freshman year. Had a couple interceptions, was, all Big 12 out of the true freshmen. And then he gets suspended and kicked off the team for academic violation. So now he could have lost a year of eligibility by transferring, or he jumped into the XFL draft. And now he's starting for, I think, Dallas maybe, or St. Louis. One of those two. Yeah, but, if he performs well and gets a contract in the NFL, this could be a trend we could see going forward. So I think that's a very interesting part.
Yeah, no, like I was saying to you earlier, it's definitely cool because it does provide that new opportunity for players, and it does for players who were rejected the first time in the NFL, like Cardale Jones, who isn't as much as he was in college, or just for players like you said, like Kenny, whatever the hell,
Kenny Robinson.
Kenny Robinson, who was had trouble transferring from college to the NFL. He could. It's a nice it's a new opportunity for him too, and it's a good middle league for now to for somebody to eventually grow and then become more identified in the NFL. So I think that's definitely cool. And yeah, I just hope it sustains its success as we go along. We're only in week 3, heading into week 4, I think, this week. So it's cool. I do hope that the New York team is something to fucking watch, because the Giants are terrible. The Jets suck. The Bills, I guess, are cool, but they're, no one really pays attention to them.
I mean, there's like a few interesting storylines throughout it though. There's for the Dallas team, I know that Landry Jones and the coach Bob Stoops were together at Oklahoma. Like that was his coach and the quarterback at Oklahoma. So it's interesting to see what goes on there, if they can rekindle some of that magic they found in Norman. And then also, like, P.J. Walker is the quarterback for Houston, and he set pretty much every record at Temple. He's more of a athletic quarterback, so it's the NFL has a problem adjusting with a lot of those guys, but some of those guys might get a bigger shot to run a team now. Some of those athletic quarterbacks that were held back or tried to be forced into a pocket role, see what they can do. So.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But speaking of the NFL, I know isn't the Combine coming up at the end of the month?
Today, tomorrow.
Okay, so
this week.
I don't know about the Giants. I don't know who they want to draft. I really don't know much. I know a lot of people do want a defensive player. Obviously with Chase Young out of the picture, it's going to have to be somebody else. I was talking to Chuck the other day, and he was talking about the same guy you mentioned to me. The dude who plays cornerback, I think.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah. So I know you want him a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The way we see with the draft, the Giants have, the 4th overall pick this year. We've got, we're making cap space. We just cut Ogletree and Kareem Martin. That freed up about $10 million. So we're probably projected to go in, hopefully, with about $80 million this offseason. And the way I look, a lot of people, a biggest need is offensive tackle, probably, would be because that would just solidify the offense.
Yeah.
But Gettleman's open to trading down, he said, which he never does. I would like to see offensive tackle be shored up through free agency. I think your chances of finding someone like Jack Conklin or, anybody that's proven to, get in there and you have more confidence in that. I'd rather not play with a rookie offensive lineman this year, you know what I mean? So I think defense would be the way to go. Isaiah Simmons would be fantastic. He'd be like the pick that would just the safest pick, I would say. He can play multiple positions. He's got a Camp Chancellor frame. But he also, people say he's a little small for linebacker, but they said the same thing about Darius Leonard, and he was defensive rookie of the year 2 years ago. He's definitely got the size, and he can. We've been getting killed by tight ends and running backs out of the backfield on third down, and he's that guy who could provide that third down stop. And I think it'd be definitely worth doing your due diligence on him first. But if we trade back, that obviously allows for a lot more options.
Definitely. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun combine. I always like watching that. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And obviously with Joe Judge now leading the Giants, I don't know much about him, but I know a lot of people liked his press conference. You do have to take that with a grain of salt, but I don't know. What do you think about Judge, and what do you think? How do you think he's going to do as a coach here?
Listen, I listened to Joe Judge's press conference and everything very intensely, and what I took away from it is like you said, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because who's not going to want to come in and say all the right things? That's
exactly.
Obviously what you want to hear, but at the same time, he literally said everything that I feel like we felt as Giants fans. And the biggest thing that stuck out to me the most is, I might not quote it perfectly, but he said, we're not going to sign older players to teach the younger players, and we're not going to sign older players to change the culture. He said that's our job as coaches, to teach the players and to change the culture. That's huge. That's something that's plagued the Giants for years.
Yep.
We sign these older guys.
It's like the fucking Knicks.
Yeah, to mentor and what the fuck? Dude, it just doesn't work. It's never worked for us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We get stuck with Antoine Bethea or someone, who can't make a tackle. And it's at this point, I'd rather see the younger guys struggle than that. I like how he took the responsibility on the coaches, and, he's got active coaches. No one's going to sit there and watch. They're involved. I think Joe Judge is the right guy. I mean, obviously the Saban connection, the Belichick connection, whatever. He's been around winning. He knows the pedigree, and I think he's ready to come in and take a hold of the team, which I'm behind him. And you know what I mean? It is. I didn't really want to see Shermer go. I really didn't.
Dude.
But I do have the feeling that we get a little bit more of a spine on the team right now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So how do you think Daniel Jones will do in year 2, getting the entire season now? Obviously with Eli Manning gone, and now it's going to be up to Jones with a whole new coach and maybe a different system. How do you think it's going to all play out now with him, and how do you think he's going to fare, I guess, next season?
But honestly, people forget that Daniel Jones threw for more touchdowns and less interceptions than Kyler Murray, who won Offensive Rookie of the Year. The fumbles were the biggest thing. I think with the offensive line play, that'll be shored up. But also, I think that came from him trying to make too much happen. He was holding on the ball a little too long, trying to make that big play, which I completely understand. But yeah, this year he's coming in. I think it's great that the Eli stuff is finally put to bed. Everybody, was satisfied out of that situation. It went as well as it could have. Now there's not that nagging, like, oh, what's Eli doing? Is Eli okay with this? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, he gets free reign now. Yeah. This is his team. There's no who should we start, who should we sit. It's over, that's going to help him a lot mentally. He's going to learn a second system this year, but I'm sure they're going to build off of what he did well and what he didn't do well. And I'm optimistic, honestly. I don't think that there's any reason that the Giants shouldn't go 8-8 this year. Okay. With the amount of money and the picks that they have, I think winning 8 games is completely relevant. It's completely should be expected. And if we don't, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think you bring up a good point when you talk about him being the only guy now, the lone wolf at the quarterback position. He gets to be, the catalyst. He gets to be the point guard of the team, in a sense. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think 8-8 is definitely a possibility if all things go as planned. And it will be interesting to see again where they go in the draft and how they opt to run things here under Joe Judge. So that's pretty. I like that insight. I think that's pretty interesting. But we're gonna take a quick break and then I guess we'll talk about the NBA in a little bit. All right,
let's do it.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, Rob Carbone here. Really quick, I just want to talk to you about Anchor. Anchor is a free podcast hosting site, and I say that again, it's a free podcast hosting site that will distribute your podcast for you to other platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Overcast, and all those websites. But here's the best part. Not only is it free, not only do they share it for you, but they will pay you for recording a podcast. They will pay you. And you can do it from your computer, from your phone. All you have to do is go to the Anchor app and download that, or go to their website, which is anchor.fm, to begin. It's everything you need. It is so convenient for podcasters like myself. So please, guys, go download the Anchor app or go to their website, anchor.fm, to begin. See you there. So the Knicks are on tonight, and I don't know. I something's wrong with my brain, so I'm gonna fucking watch them just as I've done for 59 games of this shit show all season. For me, it's just such a bother because I would accept the losing. I'd be fine with it. And you saw my comment on Twitter before. If they would play their kids, if they would just let Mitchell Robinson play 30 minutes, if they would just let Alonzo Trier fucking play it all, if they would let RJ Barrett. They treat RJ Barrett like he's a fucking shooter when he should be the guy with the ball in his hands. It's just the way they do things down there, and I'm starting to think that it's way more front office. It's influenced by the front office than it is anything else. And it's just they don't play their kids, and everything is just so corrupt over there. And I don't know. I can't do it, dude. I can't, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through 20-something more games of this bullshit without cracking, because I am so close to just giving up.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand. Like, after last season, tank for Zion, get KD, get Kyrie, and then none of it happened. Literally, none of it happened. So it blew up. So now it's like, all right, now where do you go? And I think where all the frustration comes is that there's no path to just like how to be relevant again. Like they're so off the path.
They're non-rebuilding rebuilders.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
I call them. They're stagnant.
Very, very stagnant. It's the worst. It's really the worst. It's embarrassing. You know, like it's embarrassing that it's the second highest valued franchise. You know what I mean? In the NBA, and they can't win a game. Like you said, they need to play Trier more. They need to let Mitchell Robinson play. Dude, RJ even at Duke wasn't even like a spot up jump shot shooter.
Exactly.
Like, you know, he ran the ball down the field, down the court, and then he distributed it, and then he can slash to the hoop when he needs to. But other than that, he's gonna put the ball around, and he's a smart player. I think that it's just like you said, like Trier needs to get more minutes. You need to at least let the guy play.
Dotson,
he can shoot threes.
And even I'm not big on Frank. I think Frank's definitely not going to end up a lotto pick, but he's at least a player you should at least put out there just to see. You're not going to get better on the bench and just
listen.
Knox,
we've literally got nothing to lose.
There's literally nothing to lose.
Even it's a sport where even if you wanted to tank, like, you can't really control it anyway. You know, we did it last year and we didn't get the fucking pick. So like, what, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing this year? Like, what are we holding out for? There's no Zion in this draft.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna be. It doesn't help that the NBA draft is 2 rounds though. The NBA created this player-friendly, players control where we go thing, and all it did is ruin the NBA for all the other teams. Like, New York is obviously a big market, but it's almost like that doesn't even help them anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the teams that are shit are never gonna get good in this landscape of the NBA, because you're gonna have people team up and go to one team, and like that's it. It's just like, do you want to join the Bucks, or do you want to go to the Lakers or the Clippers or what? And that's it. It's just so top heavy.
Yeah,
it's so top heavy.
Too much control sometimes.
It's not like back in the 90s, it seemed like everybody had their guy. Like, your team had their guy, and then, like, a nice little supporting cast, and it's just like, our guys versus your guy. Our best player versus your best player. Yeah. And let's grind it out and see who wins.
It was a mano-a-mano. It was my man versus your best.
It's not just like, all right, now, we got these 2 players and these 2 players, and now we're going to wait till the end of the season to see which one's better. Like, come on. Like, it's almost like... I don't know. The NBA is almost more about just having one really good player and have them accomplish everything they can, or like who can get closest to Jordan. You know, like that's what the whole NBA is now.
It's all about individuality.
Yeah, it's just like who can get closer to, like, you know what I mean? I would have rather seen LeBron do half as much as he's done and win like 10 championships with Cleveland. That would have been cool.
Exactly. It would have been a fun story. It would have been better for him.
You know what I mean? Like it's just too much about like getting close to Jordan and like, you know, every player just wants that resume. You know what I mean? And they're going to do whatever they can to get it. So.
And I think a lot of what you said is a big part of why the NBA ratings, I believe, are falling year after year. And it's hard to watch sometimes, just because, not only because of all that shit, but just the way that things are headed, where it's like, it's kind of like the analytics of baseball, where the home run is everything. In the NBA, it's like, if you're not shooting threes, you're hitting. They're eliminating the mid-range, the post-ups. The defense isn't even played anymore. It's just hard to watch. Like, as a fan of the Knicks, if another team's playing, it's really hard to keep my attention, especially if it's somebody like the Houston Rockets or some team who just blatantly shoots threes and doesn't do anything else. It's just hard to watch because the product on the court isn't fun.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like the game's more geared to like seeing highlights on your phone than it is to actually sit down and watch the experience of a game, you know? Yeah. It's crazy.
So, I guess we're going to wrap this up on the MLB. A lot's been going on. A fucking shit ton has been going on with the Yankees, but obviously the Astros and the whole thing with the commissioner and the cheating scandal. So, I guess we'll start there with the Astros. That whole thing has been so crazy.
A disaster.
Like, when it initially came out, like I'm talking about months ago, I tried to ignore it as best as I could. I'm like, oh, nothing's really going to come of this anyway. It's whatever. I don't care. The Yankees still have to do their job. But then just all this shit starts coming out. They actually cheated, and the videos started coming out. And what's his name? Altuve, but I'm talking about John Boy, who released all that information. And you start seeing them cheat, and you see the pictures of the video room, and you can hear the trash can being banged. And now all the players, to just on top of all that, to just act like they're the innocent ones, act like they're the victims, and it just pisses me off even more. And part of me just hopes the Yankees take that and fuel to and motivation.
Absolutely, it's the lack of remorse. It's the, you know what I mean, like the lack of. It's just they're not sorry. They don't care. They got the World Series, and that's that. And like people forget. Like I mean, like it's only been how many years, and people are kind of forget that about Barry Bonds already. You know what I mean? Like as time goes on. There needs to be an asterisk in the book because as time goes on, when my kids go and look at the sports almanac and they see 2007 world champions Astros, they're not going to think about the cheating scandal. By that time, it's going to, you know what I mean? And it's like, that needs to be there. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, is like, I get it. You had to give the players immunity to get what was going on. But there should be like, they need to vacate the title, or it needs to be a punishment because the way I look at it is like this. If you're going to tell me this is a player-driven thing and the players aren't penalized, how are you going to tell me that Pete Rose should not be allowed in the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean? Like, he didn't change the outcome of the game. He didn't win the World Series over it. You know what I mean? He was gambling. And
he bet on his own team.
Yeah, I mean, and like, you know, you can say it's wrong, and it is, but it's to a point. It's like, it's not anything like this. No, you know what I mean? It's not anything like this.
It's placing a bet.
Like, and then the owner goes out and says it didn't affect the game, and they're like, "Did you say it didn't affect the game?" Like, I didn't say that.
What the fuck?
Come on, dude. Like, you shouldn't have even showed up that day.
I died when I saw that video.
Shouldn't have even showed up that day, dude. And I mean, like, what? Altuve already got hit. I saw something. I don't think Bregman got hit, but still, like, it's just gonna, you know what I mean? It is what it's just crazy. I saw something on Twitter. I think ESPN posted it. It's 7 Houston Astros through 3 spring training games have already gotten hit by a pitch. That shit's hilarious. It's gonna be a shit show, dude. I personally would not be able to walk out on that field again and have a whole stadium yell at me and be like, knowing what I did, like, it changed the game. You know, like, that's insane.
George Springer was getting booed heavily yesterday. And he went up to the plate, tried to hit it as hard as he can, and he fucking lands on his ass and swings and misses. I was just dying. It's gonna be hilarious to see them just get plunked all year and get treated like shit. Yeah, it just sucks that
having to go out there day after day and be getting yelled at like that is gonna take its toll on them mentally.
It's gonna be funny as hell.
It's gonna I just can't wait for one of them to snap. You know?
Oh my gosh,
it's inevitable.
But at the same time, we've got to focus on ourselves. The Yankees have to go out there and because they've got issues of their own. Not fucking cheating, but they've got injuries to deal with. You know, obviously the news on a while back it was Aaron Hicks, their starting center fielder. Then, like about a week ago, it became you had the injury with James Paxton. Now is going to be sitting out after the surgery. Then you got the Luis Severino news, which was the biggest blowout of all of this. And now yesterday we get the news about Giancarlo Stanton,
not to mention Herman's still suspended.
And Herman's suspended. And you hope that Aaron Judge, because they were talking about he's got a sore right shoulder or left, I don't know, but you hope that he's okay.
Yeah, back in the same boat we were last year.
Seriously, it's just...
And honestly, it's like, Garrett Cole, like, listen, he's the man. He tore it up last year, but we can't go into this season thinking he's a cyborg and it's going to happen again because... In Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Exactly. He wasn't, like, think about
Remember, that was why I didn't want him. Remember, we were talking a while ago why I didn't want him, because in Pittsburgh, he wasn't that good.
Exactly.
And not to say he won't do good again, but I know you're
saying. But then it's like, think about this, and, like, this is the paranoia that is created by the Astros cheating. It's like, all right, so now you have, they cheated on offense, so what makes you think that they, if they could, wouldn't cheat on defense? Because then you got Verlander, whose career seemed like it was over, and then he goes there, and now he's the best pitcher again. You know what I mean? Going 9 innings in the playoffs and whatever. And then you got Dallas Keuchel, who's killing it with them, but you can't get a job somewhere else. You know, now it's Garrett Cole comes from Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden is killing it again.
Honestly, you never know.
Would you be surprised?
Honestly, you never know.
I don't know, because I read an article about something that they, like, stuff, like, that they put on the ball.
They put pine tar on it.
Yeah, like the pine tar and stuff on the ball, and you can manipulate it intensely.
Definitely.
So, you never know, but...
It is weird having
it's paranoia, maybe.
It is weird having Cole on the team, knowing he was a part of that, and he didn't say a thing. Yeah. So it's very awkward in a way.
But at the same time, I mean, like, if I would, you know, I don't know if I would have said anything.
Yeah, I know. Like, don't be a rat, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a rat, but once it comes out, I own it.
Yeah.
You know?
But, I just hope they're going to be okay without Severino. I think they can handle the Stanton injury, honestly, because he's somebody I don't think is best fit for this lineup anyways. Yeah. But as for the Severino thing, it's going to be interesting. Sure, they can probably maintain success in the regular season, but when it comes down to pitching in the playoffs, you need every bit of it as you can get.
Oh, yeah.
And without Luis Severino, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough. So they're going to really have to rely on James Paxton to be that secondary guy and Domingo Germán to come back ready and keep that motherfucker away from woman.
Yeah,
keep him ready to go. And I don't know. Because when we got Cole, that was supposed to put us. Michael K mentioned this in his show yesterday. When we got Cole, that was supposed to put us over the top.
Yeah.
But now he's like our guy.
Average,
yeah, now it's like he's the guy we're relying on, where before it was like a bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, fuck, we have to go through the season again?
Hey, I mean, the only thing is, like, with the way that last season turned out with all the injuries, it was like, at least we have some sort of, like, we know that we can manage the situation. It's about, the first couple months are going to be damage control, really.
Yeah.
It's just, let's just have the best possible record we can for when everybody's healthy. You know what I mean? Let's just try to do as good as we can until we get everybody back, and then the second half of the year is going to be a completely different approach than the first half of the year. You know, we're going to be two different teams.
That's when we have to turn it on.
Yeah, so
just get ready for the postseason.
Yeah,
because that's ultimately it's only about the postseason when it
not
comes
to mention
down to it.
all eyes are on us this year, especially with all the Astros
this
bullshit.
Is, I look at this
year and
year 4. I look at it as year 4 in this new regime, I guess you could say, with this whole new core coming up. And a lot of people, I said this, I had a show last night and I kind of mentioned it. A lot of people, I don't want to say, I guess overrated is the right word. Because a lot of times when people say overrated, others react to it and think it means you're talking about that person sucks. Or I just think the Yankee core is a little bit overhyped right now. Because when you look at who they've brought up through the system, Gary Sanchez hasn't been as reliable as we thought. Greg Bird obviously turned out to be a bust. Guy's not even here. Luis Severino obviously has had trouble repeating that really good season he had early on in his career. He's been hurt. He's been up and down. Aaron Judge has dealt with injury. He hasn't been able to repeat that rookie season because of it. And then the extensions handed out to Severino, the extension handed out to Hicks, the contract to Stanton. So Brian Cashman, I think, has done a nice job. But as far as touting him as this, as this great, that he's done such a wonderful job, I think we have to take a step back and let things happen before we tout them as this great team.
I totally agree. I mean, and where it comes is people forget, like, think about, like, 2017, it's everybody's like, oh, Yankees are so young, we have all these players, our farm system's great. But it's you're right, it's 4 years later now, and we haven't won anything.
No.
So, like, yeah, we've had some good seasons, but that's why it gets more boom or bust as it goes, because it's been 4 years now. We haven't gotten into the World Series.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing right there. Exactly like you said. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm ecstatic, but I'm happy about where we are contract-wise with people. You know what I mean? Now that, like, Ellsbury is kind of, like, getting, that's all settled and, like, I mean, like, we have flexibility. We're not too attached to anybody.
Of course, like, we're the Yankees. We could do what we want in terms of flexibility and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So we're good in that, but you're right. Cashman doesn't need to get all the credit yet.
I think we need to take a step back just a little bit and let things happen, because we're basing a lot off potential. And when you're 4 years into this process and you're still talking about if and what he can do, it's kind of like, okay, see, we got to realize we're not there yet.
The rubber's got to meet the road at some point.
We have to eventually hit that ceiling. We haven't done so yet.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think this is going to, I mean, we're going to see this year. They're going to have, there's not going to be a year where they're going to be as ready as this year. I mean, the things that happen, and they're always going to happen. But, like, I think as far as, like, the way the mentality is, I think the whole team's centered in this year. It'd be nice to see that. It's
going to be fun. I mean, I'm always excited to get going, and I just want to, have this a stress-free season, as stress-free as it can be, and hopefully it'll come down to it, and we can win number 28. But dude, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna wrap it up with about a half hour in. That was fun. I think that was good.
Definitely do it again.
So please, guys, if you like this video or if you like the podcast that you're listening to, be sure to share it and all that junk. Subscribe to BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Do that on Apple, Google, SoundCloud, Spotify, Radio Public, YouTube, Anchor, and plenty more platforms as well. You can find all those platforms on my website, nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. And guys, if you want to follow my account on Twitter or on Facebook, be sure to do that as well at nysportstalkrc. And if you want to follow my Instagram account, that's new. At Rob J. Carbone is the handle. Guys, thank you so much. Dyke, thanks.
Absolutely.
Coming on. Did he just call you Dyke? Remember that?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man. Yeah, no one. This has been Rob Carbone doing episode 82 of BD4. Again, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Or thanks for checking this out. And I'll see you next time. Ciao. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that fun stuff. If you want to follow BD4 on all the different platforms we have, all you have to do is go to my website, nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Once again, that's nysportstalkrc.wordpress.com. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Ciao.